God gave us a gift of reasoning. That is why we are placed in the highest order of the animal kingdom, because we know how to rationalize. Today, we will explore more on the steps that you should take to create strong and effective arguments by identifying such. Good afternoon, students! Kamusta kayo? Have you started working on your modules? Remember, if you have questions, call your teacher to assist you. And I am here to help you out understand your lessons away from school. My name is Teacher Kara, and welcome back again to our Teleanalan in Dalmore. While preparing for your speech writing and oral communication, let us jump to English for academic and professional purposes. Have you invited your classmates to watch today's episode? As they say, the students that study together pass the semester together. Do you still remember our lesson last week? We discussed about the components of speech writing process. Let us enumerate them together. The components are audience, purpose, topic, data gathering, and writing patterns. The first one is audience. Do not forget that audience analysis needs to know the demography, situation, and the psychology of your audience. The second one is purpose. Remember that we have types of speeches according to purpose, namely informative, persuasive, and entertainment. Our next component is topic. To make it straightforward and focused, a writer must narrow down the topic. The topic is your focal point of your speech, which can be determined once you have decided on your purpose. Another component is data gathering. It is like sourcing or collecting ideas, information, sources, and even references relevant to your specific topic, that is, to support your speech. And the last, but definitely not the least, writing pattern. Writing patterns in general are structures that will help you organize the ideas related to your topic. Examples are logical, chronological, comparison or contrast, problem solution, and spatial. Don't forget these components because we will still discuss them all a few weeks from now. Now, think about an issue you feel strongly about in school or community. You may feel like you strongly agree or against to that issue. You may feel you are right. But in order to win people over to your side, you need to present a convincing case. What might help you to win your case? In this lesson, we are going to examine the basic elements of argument. I know you are ready to listen for today's lecture, and I'll make it very simple for you. But before that, and before I begin, let's test your prior knowledge of this topic, shall we? Write true if the statement is true. I want you to write false if you think the statement is not true. Prepare your notebooks.
An argument, for the purposes of logic, is made up of a set of statements that supports another statement. An argument is still okay, even if the reasons do not support it fully. A main argument, or thesis, is presented first. There is always a topic sentence in a paragraph.
You may wonder why you need to know about the word argument. Well, our lesson for today is about argument and how to identify one. By the end of this TV lesson, you shall be able to
define what is an argument, identify and analyze arguments in essays or texts, and distinguish types of arguments and choose appropriately in actual writing. What is an argument?
the kind of argument we are talking about here is not what we often use in everyday language, which refers to a fight or conflict between people.
An argument is a formal way to make a point in academic writing. An argument consists of three parts. Firstly, a claim or statement that summarizes the main idea. Secondly, reasons why that claim is true, and evidence to support that claim.
Please bear in mind the following vocabulary because you will be hearing it several times in our lecture.
Claim is a statement of position on an issue. Reason is a general statement that offers support for a claim. Evidences can be taken from facts, statistics, and other information used to support reasons.
Arguments are everywhere in school, in community, or even in your own house. You will deal with so many arguments at school. Outside the classroom, you run into them in advertisement, in spam, in newspapers, web pages, or even movies.
When you get up and go get a soda from the fridge, you're not making an argument. But if at the climactic moment of soda choice, you opt for the Coke over the Pepsi, you may be acting on a conclusion.
The first stage in critical thinking is argument identification. Given that some of what people say and do is not argumentative, one must be able to distinguish the arguments from other types of expressions. There are three steps of argument identification.
Understand the context. Is someone trying to convince you of something? Identify the conclusion. What are they trying to convince you? Identify the reasons. Why do they think you should believe them?
If you wish to become skilled at grappling with arguments, you must become skilled at spotting them. And if you want to become skilled at spotting them, it helps to know where they are typically found. This reveals the fact that in certain situations, you can expect an argument, whereas in other situations, you might be surprised to find an argument. In general, we are aware of the obvious argument context in debates, in classrooms, in media, or even political discussions among friends. We are also sensitive to certain words or phrases that mark arguments, such as arguments, my view, my opinions, what do you think about it, and etc. In academic writing, you can never establish a point without an argument. In fact, making an argument means expressing a point of view on a subject and supporting it with evidence is the main aim of academic writing. It is a reason or set of reasons given with the aim of letting others believe with you that an action or an idea is right or wrong, and you have to back it up with evidence to support it. Let's take a look at this example.
Reflective writing can help students become better thinkers. It can help students see that ideas are meant to be discussed and debated. Bridges and Jost found that students who did weekly reflective journal writing about their course content for a semester could analyze course concepts at a deeper level than those who didn't.
In this case, the sentence, reflective writing can help students become better thinkers, is the claim. The claim is expanded upon in the next sentence. It can help students see that ideas are meant to be discussed and debated. Finally, evidence is presented, often in the form of citation. Here, we read that Bridges and Jost found that students who did weekly reflective journal writing about their course content for a semester could analyze course concepts at a deeper level than those who didn't. This evidence supports the originally presented claim and its expansion.
If you want to find a good job, you should work hard. You do want to find a good job, so you should work hard.
The first two sentences here are the premises of the argument, and the last sentence is the conclusion. To give this argument is to offer the premises as reasons for accepting the conclusion. How do we identify arguments in real life? There are no easy mechanic rules, but sometimes the job can be made easier by the presence of certain indicators. For example, if a person makes a statement and then adds, "This is because," then it is quite likely that the first statement is presented as a conclusion supported by the statements that come afterwards. Other words in English that might be used to indicate an argument include
Since, firstly, secondly, for, as, after all, assuming that, in view of the fact that, follows from, as shown, indicated by, may be inferred, and derived from. Conclusions, on the other hand, are often preceded by words like therefore, so, it follows that, Hence, consequently, suggests, proves, demonstrates that entails, and implies.
Let's take a look at this. A main argument or thesis is presented first. Then, different sections are formed with the purpose of supporting the main argument. Within those sections, we find paragraphs which hold the purpose of supporting the sections that support the thesis. Utilizing this type of hierarchy structure is an excellent way to ensure that your essay stays on track and continues to argue what it sets out to argue. Let's continue on to identifying arguments within academic writing. When reading, you will need to identify arguments in order to properly understand the main points. In paragraphs, a topic sentence often identifies the main claim or idea of the paragraph. This is usually the first sentence, but not always. To find it, follow the following steps.
Firstly, read the paragraph. Next, ask, what is this paragraph about? Thirdly, summarize the content in your own words. And lastly, find the sentence within that paragraph that best matches the summary. This is likely the stated claim of the paragraph.
Most other sentences in the paragraph provide reasons and evidence to support the claim made in the topic sentence. Reasons and evidence explain why and how the claim is true, and usually consist of quotes or ideas from scholars, data, or facts. There are two types of arguments, namely deductive and inductive.
What is deductive? For a deductive argument, you start with a premise that is assumed to be true or correct, and there is no more logical reason than a true premise.
For example, you assume that God exists and He is kind, and then determine what would be logically follow from such an assumption. Well, you can begin by assuming that if you think of it, then it must exist. With deduction, you can provide absolute proof of your conclusions, given that your premises are correct. However, remember that the premises themselves remain unproven or disprovable.
Examples: all men are mortal. Ronald is a man. Therefore, Ronald is mortal. The first two statements are true, and the conclusion must be true. Another example is, to hold a bachelor's degree at Mindanao State University, a student must earn 120 credits. Lily has more than 130 credits. Therefore, Lily has a bachelor's degree. How about inductive argument? This type of inference doesn't have to be true, but probably is. This is most likely the useful and practical argument we can use. For example, it usually takes me an hour to get to work, so if I leave at 8, I'll probably get there by 9. True education makes us behave in the most acceptable manner. If your ways are objectable, you're not truly educated.
I'm going to show you two authors who make different claims on the same topic. Let us see how do they support their claims with reasons and evidence. Check this out.
Every citizen should have access to a free, universal healthcare system. This would allow medical professionals to concentrate on healing their patients rather than dealing with insurance procedures and liability concerns. Each person has a right to be cared for, and having access to free medical services provide patients with the opportunity for regular checkups when otherwise they may not be able to afford them. Universal healthcare is an impractical system where total costs end up being much higher compared to privatized care. Doctor flexibility is decreased due to government policy, and those that are healthy are forced to subsidize the health benefits for smokers and those that are obese. Everyone should be given access to health care, but not in a publicly controlled system.
These two passages reflect an opinion about a universal healthcare system, aren't they? Although each paragraph discusses the same topic, they both claim very different things. The first paragraph argues that universal healthcare gives doctors the opportunity to focus on care over insurance concerns, while the other argues that doctors' flexibility is decreased in such a system due to intrusive government policy. The other paragraph argues that universal healthcare gives everyone the opportunity for regular checkup, no matter the cost. While the other paragraph argues that such a system forces the healthcare to subsidize benefits for those needing care due to smoking or obesity. Ultimately, each author supports his claim with effective reasoning. Don't forget that as you read, make sure you understand the claims that the author is trying to make. Let's take some time to practice a few things we just went over, shall we? I will give you a very brief paragraph, and I want you to find the main idea. Game?
Digital piracy is not killing the music industry. History has shown that formats shift and change depending on consumer preferences. LPs and cassettes have been phased out to make room for CDs. With the current shift from physical to digital, consumers have the freedom to purchase individual tracks instead of whole albums, a move that explains the drop in album sales and, as a result, overall profits. What is the main idea of paragraph 1? A. As a result of piracy, overall album sales dropped. B. Consumers prefer digital media over physical media. C. Digital piracy is not killing the music industry. And letter D. LPs and cassettes have been phased out to make room for CDs.
From this paragraph, what is your answer? What is the main idea? The right answer is excellent! Letter C. Digital piracy is not killing the music industry.
When a consumer product in some way has a negative impact on society, government often move to place high taxes on those products to discourage use. For example, high taxes on cigarettes and alcohol. Obesity should be viewed in the same light. With the high availability of soft drinks and junk food at an affordable low price, consumers are all but discouraged from eating healthy. A tax on such products would discourage mass purchasing and positively impact our society by curbing obesity rates. What is the main idea of paragraph 2? A. High taxes on a product discourage use. B. Low prices and high availability of junk foods results in an increased obesity rate. C. Taxes on healthy food items should be reduced. D. To encourage healthy eating, higher taxes should be imposed on soft drinks and junk food.
From the paragraph 2, which do you think is the main idea? The right answer is bravo! Letter D. To encourage healthy eating, higher taxes should be imposed on soft drinks and junk food. Let's practice some more. Consider this sentence. My best friend advised me not to skip class, and her advice is usually good. So, I will follow it. What type of argument do you think it is? Perfect! It is inductive. How about bachelors are unmarried men? Billy is not married. Therefore, Billy is a bachelor. What type of argument it is? That's correct. The sentence has deductive argument. Now, let us go back to the statements a while ago, and it's about time to check your answers. The first one is, if you can remember, an argument for the purposes of logic is made up of a set of statements that support another statement. What do you think is the correct answer? You are correct. The answer is true. How about an argument is still okay even if the reasons do not support it fully? Good job! The answer is false. An argument has to be supported with reasons and evidences. Let's go to the next statement. What do you think is the correct answer? A main argument of thesis is presented first. That is true. The argument is presented first, then different sections are formed with the purpose of supporting the main argument through reasons and evidences. And the last one is, there is always a topic sentence in the paragraph. Of course, the answer is false. Not all paragraphs has a topic sentence. But remember, you can always identify arguments without the topic sentence. How? By reading the paragraph, knowing what is this paragraph all about, summarizing the content using your own words, and finding the sentence within that paragraph that best matches the summary. Remember that dogmatic people tend to make assertions without giving reasons. When they are criticized, they often fail to give arguments to defend their own opinions. To improve our critical thinking skills, we should develop the habit of giving good arguments to support our opinions. To defend an opinion, think about whether you can give more than one argument to support it. Also, think about potential objections to your opinion. For example, argument against your opinion. A good thinker will consider the arguments on both sides of an issue. For your assignment, see if you can give arguments to support some of your beliefs. Do you think the economy is going to improve or worsen in the next 6 months? Why or why not? What arguments can you give to support your positions? I want you to open a friendly argument with your siblings, classmates, or friends about this. I am very sure you will learn a lot from each other. When you open the argument, remember to give an argument is to provide a set of reasons for accepting the conclusion. To give an argument is not necessarily to attack or criticize someone. Good luck! I must say, you are becoming critical thinkers as you go on with your English for academic and professional purposes subject. I hope this lecture helps you to know what arguments are and how to identify them. By developing a sensitivity to argument, context, and indication of conclusions and reasons, one can become a very effective argument spotter. That is all for now. Catch me again next Wednesday for another round of learning. Don't forget to invite your classmates to watch PTB48 on their televisions or via Facebook Live every day from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. This is again your teacher, Mom Kara, reminding you to stay home, stay safe, and always pray to God. Bye!